Hey guys, Harry BHF here. In a similar video to what I did last week, we're gonna do another movie ranking. This time ranking all five Jurassic Park films from worst to best. Now, I saw these films about 2 months ago in the summer holidays, and it's been a while now since I last saw any of them. But just like any film franchise, there are the good films, or I guess great films, and the not so great films, and so that's what we're going to be looking at today. So, yeah, let's begin. Again, just like the Mission Impossible ranking I did, this list is my personal opinion and it's completely subjective. But feel free to leave a comment down below of your ranking of the Jurassic Park films. So, yeah, let's begin starting with my least favourite film in the series.
Number 5. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
So, I don't hate this film. In fact, I don't really dislike it all that much. But it's easily the weakest film in the series for me, and I think that's partly because you have the first half, which is really good, because the dinosaurs come loose and they start killing people, and there's lots of explosions and action, and um, just general terrifying sort of sequences. Like that half is really good. Then you get past it, and it goes into the mansion, and it's just they kind of stop the dinosaurs from escaping these cells that they're in the basement. I just found that whole sequence a bit boring, and that whole bit's like an hour long. It takes up the whole second half of the film pretty much. I just didn't really find it very good, and not only that, but I think that the plot is very stupid because the villains they just want to sell the dinosaurs to other people, which will apparently kill them. I just don't know how that makes sense. And they apparently will also get really rich from it. I just don't think it's a very creative plot, and I think they didn't really. It almost feels like they didn't really focus as much on that as they should have done. Um, so yeah, the plot's fairly ridiculous, and the whole second half is really boring. But it does have the first half of the film, which is really good, and there are some nice characters in it as well. You know, you have Chris Pratt, who's good as always. Then there's Bryce Dallas Howard. Like those two, are obviously really good. And then there's a few other good characters as well. So I think that's where it shines as well as the first half. But the bad outweighs the good for me, and so that's why it ranks as the worst film in the series.
Number 4. The Lost World Jurassic Park.
So as the first Jurassic Park sequel, I think that this film does work really well. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the original, but on its own, I do think it's a pretty good sci-fi action thriller. Like some of the action sequences in the film are really good. There's this one scene about halfway through the film where all our lead characters are in the RV and they dangle over a cliff because the T-Rex comes and pushes it over. That whole sequence is superb. It's brilliant. There's lots of it creates this really tense atmosphere because one of them falls. She thinks she's about to fall to her death, but there's actually like a really thin bit of glass there, and it's like slowly cracking as she moves. It's so good. The problem though in this film is the plot because it's very confusing. Like it's about doing more dinosaur research at a different island, but it's also about trying to kill all the dinosaurs left over from the first film. But then it's also about the T-Rex going loose in San Diego at the end. Like, it feels like they had different ideas for sequels to Jurassic Park, and then they all kind of mashed them together into one film, which kind of confused me a lot when I watched it. And also the first 20 minutes is a pretty big drag. But once you get past that, it does get pretty good in terms of, like, for entertainment purposes. And I do think this film does deserve more credit than it actually gets. But I do find these next three films are more rewatchable, which is why this film does... why it's not in the top three. So, yeah, let's find out what those three films are.
Number 3. Jurassic Park 3.
By a really long way, this is the most underrated film in the series, in my opinion. Like, I just don't know where all the hate is coming from. Like, every single ranking on YouTube I see of this film, number 5, Jurassic Park 3. Why? I mean, what big problem or problems are there in this film for this to be really bad, and then they call it the worst film in the series? I just don't understand. Look, I'll admit that the plot isn't terribly original. It's just a rescue mission, but I can enjoy the film despite that. And there are some pretty bad special effects, and I can't remember her name. Tia Leone's character, she is so annoying. I just do not understand other than that, because the sole purpose of a film is to entertain, and this film, at least for me, does that really well. Like, it's only an hour and a half. It's nice and short. I don't like films that are too long because they do drag on, even if they're really good. But I just do not get it. There is, as I've just said, a few things that aren't great. Like, there's the bit with Billy Brennan, he steals the eggs, and Alan Grant, who I like the way they brought Alan Grant back for this film. By the way, just like some of the worst things imaginable were done with the best intentions. Like, that whole plot twist was a bit unnecessary. So yeah, not a perfect film, but I can enjoy it a lot, and I don't see where all the hate is coming from. Really, I mean, maybe one day it will become apparent to me. Somebody will tell me this is where the problems really are, and just but right as of right now, this film, I like it a lot. I just do not understand why people hate it so much, and I would go as far to call it the most underrated film of all time. I think. So yeah, that's Jurassic Park 3.
Number 2. Jurassic World.
This was the first time in 14 years we'd had a new Jurassic Park film, and I think we can all agree it was a pretty brilliant comeback after a couple of fairly average sequels that not many people were interested in. And I say that on an objective level because I don't think they're that bad, but it's a pretty stupid film, this one. Like, it revolves around how dinosaurs at theme parks aren't interesting anymore, so they make a new genetically engineered one to amaze people, and then it goes wrong and stuff. Like, it is ridiculous, but unlike Fallen Kingdom, where it's boring, here it is entertaining all the way throughout. And you also have Chris Pratt riding a motorcycle with velociraptors alongside him, and they work together with a T Rex to battle this genetically engineered dinosaur. Like, that is an example of how silly this film is. But it's fun. It's a guilty pleasure film, I think. Or maybe not completely, but there are certain elements of it which kind of give it that guilty pleasure vibe. Um, and also, it does have a really lovely sequence about halfway through with the old Jurassic Park lobby that these two boys head into. There's the magnifying glasses from the first film, there's the Jeeps, and then there's that banner which says, when dinosaurs ruled the earth and stuff. Like, that is really a really lovely throwback to the first film. And I think the reason they put it in was because they were aware of how long it had been since the last film. So they kind of gave us a bit of nostalgia with, um, you know, reminding us of the past and reminding us how brilliant the first film was. So yeah, I think it's really nice that they put that in. It would have probably worked better in Fallen Kingdom, because that was, as I said earlier, I think that should have been an anniversary film, but never mind. And the final scene with the pterodactyls flying everywhere and grabbing people is a lot of fun as well. So yeah, this film is so high because it is like the most silly but entertaining film in the series for me. So yeah, that's Jurassic World.
But coming in at number 1 is Jurassic Park.
So I imagine a lot of you would have been expecting this film. In my opinion, it is the greatest sci-fi adventure film of all time. It's just so brilliant. And I think the main reason for that is that it keeps you interested, excited, entertained, and I guess terrified all in one film. It's all like one lovely, neat little package of what a film wants to do, because you have the first half where you learn about how the dinosaurs are brought back to life, how the DNA is retrieved. Like, that's all very interesting, and I don't even find dinosaurs all that interesting, but like, the film is able to keep you interested for that long period of time, and I think this film does that better than any other film in the series. And then you get past that and you head into the second half of the film where um, the dinosaurs become loose and they start killing people and stuff. It's just so brilliant. The action, the terror of the dinosaurs, like they're roaring, and that sort of look they give you before they roar and kind of bite you. It's just so good. They're kind of like, it's, oh my, well, I can't do it very well because I'm not a dinosaur, but it's just so magnificently put together, and I think it's definitely my favorite Steven Spielberg film, because what Steven Spielberg is able to do so well is to basically find all the right moments to keep you excited and stuff, and they do that here really well. And another example of that is the kitchen sequence in the kind of final half hour of the film, where you have the dinosaur kind of puffing at the window, and then he comes in and there's another one next to him. They do that cry, and there's the kids all scared and they run around and stuff. It's just so brilliant. Like, honestly, one of my favorite films of all time. Um, and if you haven't seen this film, you are living under.
One big pile of shit.
So yeah, I'm just lost for words. How brilliant this film is. I don't think that's really happened to me before, but it's just so good, and I'll be rewatching it again soon, because I really, 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 really think it's, like, I could watch it 1,000 times and I'd still like it a lot. That's how good it is. So yeah, that's Jurassic Park. So that was my ranking of all 5 Jurassic Park movies. So obviously, I'm sure some of you may have been surprised by how high Jurassic Park 3 was. I mean, I just do not see where the hate is coming from for that film. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and see you guys later. Bye for now.